But yeah, so a few topics I've jotted through. Are you happy with Borough's summer signings? I mean, we've only signed a few, we've re-signed a few. Were you as chuffed as myself when Riley McGree signed? I thought Riley McGree, I'll be honest, I thought he was going to leave. Last season, he was in the team, he went on international duty, he cried off with injury. There was 4 games in the bounce that Michael Carrick took him off. I know he signed a 4-year contract? For me, he's the best player at the club. I mean, he didn't hit the heights last season. He did when the first time round. But yeah, McGree for me, he's got it all. He's fit. He's box-to-box player. He can create goals. He scores some great goals. He's creative. And he can defend. And he does all the dogged stuff. So for me, McGree signing's a great signing. Backtracking to the Euros, I must mention it. All my mates are English. I watched every game in my local here. With all the England fans and some of them are mates. Failed yet again. I mean, I put a tweet out just as the tournament was kicking off, and I says, I'm nearly 40 years in Teesside, and I've always says England will win nothing as a nation. I did put a tweet out saying I believe they will win this one, the Euros or the World Cup, and I still believe they can go and win the World Cup. The Euros, I was disappointed, you know. I mean, I think Gareth Southgate must have picked him out a hat. I mean, Serbia. I could bring 11 lads for the streets of Middlesbrough to beat Serbia. And that was 1-0, obviously. Denmark, wee bit tougher, 1 each. And then it was it Slovenia? And it was 0-0. Dear me. And then obviously quarter-final, Switzerland, draw, and into penalties. And then obviously the Netherlands, they got a bit better. But then in the final, they met the real deal in Spain, and that was it. Gareth Southgate, who's going to be next England manager. I personally don't think it'll be Klopp because of the political thing. He's obviously German. He comes from Liverpool. They don't respect England as a whole or the family. So I don't think Klopp for a minute. Pep, no, I still think loves that day-to-day involvement. So I cannot see him taking it. There is a young lad stepped in now, isn't he? As caretaker. And then who's it going to be? Is it going to be Potter? I don't mean Harry. Is it going to be Potter? Newcastle manager? We'll soon find out. I mean, hey, look. As you can tell my accent, I'm not English. I played for the Republic. But it's interesting. It's intriguing. But Gareth Southgate, he deserved better. Yeah, I think Gareth's a fairly negative manager. When Palmer scored the goal in the final, I thought England were going to go right at it, go for the jugular, and they didn't. They retreated, and that was the end of that. But anyway, enough about England. Janino returned recently, thanks to Dave Roberts from the Red Radio. Well done to him and the radio station for getting him back. I heard it was a great night at the Globe. I was invited, but I was tied up with other things. So were you there? How good was it? And what are you expecting on Saturday? And what about this 12:30 kickoff? For me, it's absolute nonsense. We know, I think all the kickoffs are at 12:30 on Saturday. 12:30. As I say, the kickoff, the times and the days change. It suits Sky, it suits the clubs. It doesn't suit the fans. The fans are the ones that suffer long term. I've said it for years, and it just keeps happening, but the fans keep taking it. Anyway, I'm going to backtrack here. Boo! I'm back. Leslie Coates. Oh dear God, you're my worst nightmare. Tommy Conway or Tommy Cooper? Tommy Conway. Yeah, Tommy Cooper. I was a big Tommy Cooper fan. Who's your favourite to win? That's Alec Wee. What do you mean, who's my favourite to win? I'll tell you what's getting them away. This Brian Clough t-shirt. Because when I'm looking at this, it's reflecting back, and obviously it's white. Welcome back, Bernie. Thanks, Chris. Welcome back, Bernard. Frank. Hiya, Frank. Pete. Evening, Bernie, mate. Hiya. Pete. Chris says, what do you think of the new signings for Borough? I've mentioned them there, Chris. As I say, Morris Bazong, if that's how you pronounce his name, in Hamilton. The lad to Man City obviously excites me. The lad for Huddersfield, 7 goals in a relegation side. Not great. I was a side that finished 4th bottom, and I get 32. I'm not blowing my trumpet. I'm just saying that he should get more than 7. The lad from Man City excites me more than anything. Obviously, the lad, what is it, Morris from the US? Don't know much about him. We'll soon find out. So yeah, Mohammed, hi Mohammed, hello Bernie, Joseph Slaven, nice to see you back. Signing, what is he? Signing we made have been great. The signings we made been great. I feel it's our season with Leeds and Burnley will be strong, but I think we'll get the playoffs. Gareth Southgate did good. Just gutted we didn't beat Spain. Yeah, going back to Gareth just quickly. I know he's a former Middlesbrough manager. Probably could have been sacked, should have been sacked before he gets sacked at Middlesbrough. And then we sacked him when, in my opinion, he shouldn't have been sacked because we were up there. Anyway, once the fans start chucking things at a guy of Gareth's nature, Gareth's the ultimate gentleman. I'm no his pal, but I've met him on several occasions, obviously at Middlesbrough, as a player and as a manager. And I've got the utmost respect for Gareth. Absolute gentleman, great guy. And those thugs, toe rags, and I mean, there's loads of them in Britain at the minute, who threw the stuff at Gareth. They should be banned from football. Gareth deserved more than that. And let's see what the next manager does. Gareth's couple of finals and a semis, and he's getting things chucked at him. Ethan Baker says, do you think our lineup will be the same as last season? We haven't signed anyone would deserve to be in the starting 11. We haven't signed anyone who would deserve to be in the starting 11. Ethan, I think the lad from Man City's a definite, surely. You know, we've signed him and I believe that Man City can buy him back for 11, 12 million, whatever it was. But yeah, I personally, off the top of my head, I'd love to see McGree in the number 10 role with Latty Laugh up front. The Man City kid, I believe he can play midfield. He's versatile, like most players these days. He'd play midfield and he'd play on the wing. Why not put him in the left, put Jones in the right, get Hackney in the middle with the new lad Morris, and we've got a boatload of defenders to choose from. We've got about 5 or 6 centre-backs. I wonder how Dale Fry will fare this season. You know, Dale Fry signed a new contract last. Because you sign contracts doesn't mean anything. I'm raving about McGree getting a contract and signing a contract. He won't see 4 years at Middlesbrough. Good, bad, and indifferent. He'll be gone. It's good for him and it's good for the club. Because if we sell, we get boatloads of money. As I say, he for me is the best player at Middlesbrough. Andrew Hill says, Borough to get promoted through the players, Bernie, in the Championship in the new season. So delighted Borough have kept most of the team from last season apart from Paddy McNair. Yeah, Paddy McNair, he left. I thought he would leave, but I did think McGree would leave and he didn't. Keaton, Van den Berg, Latilaf, Hackney, Dieng is great. But you don't want to talk too quickly because the deadline's on the 30th. And my gut is there will still be some day that goes before the deadline. I hope I'm wrong. And I hope Carrick's had a word with the hierarchy to say, listen, if we're doing well and we come to January window, is there any chance of bypassing that? You know, and sticking with us? You know, if we're doing really well, everything's hunky-dory, and maybe added to it in January rather than let players go. Because January gone, we'll let a few players go, and Rodgers in particular, for the money, and I get it, but the window closed, we didn't spend it, and that was a player down right away, and a forward-thinking player. Hello Bernie, welcome back. Have you had a good rest? Really looking forward to 3 p.m. kickoff with Stephen on. Hi Stephen. Yeah, I've had a good rest. I'm buzzing to be back. I think with all the shenanigans away from the football, we don't even want to get in it. I'm not political in any way, shape or form. But I think we need football back. You know, what's going on is tragic. Anyway, concentrating on football. So, Andrew Hill, yeah, I think it's great that we kept the top players, but as I say, wait till we get to the deadline day on the 30th of this month, and if we get by that, then happy days. Evening Bernie, great to have you back for the season. Love the t-shirt, thank you Andy. Why do I wear a Brian Clough's t-shirt? I actually got it to go to Vegas and I've got to see Morrissey, and I've got loads of Morrissey t-shirts I wear when I'm jogging, walking the dogs. But Cloughie, I thought, he's got the quiff. There's no name, I know who he is, and I thought it'd be good to wear a gig. Anyway, thanks to Virgin Atlantic, they cancelled the flight. They gave us options taking us round the world to get to Vegas, which was taking 27 hours instead of 10, and told them to shove it. There's no way I was doing that. And anyway, Brian Clough, always been for me, he's as a ex-Middlesbrough striker. Cloughie's the ultimate goal scorer, supreme at Middlesbrough. He's not number one, George Campbell is, but Cloughie is number one. If you look at goals per game, I think he scored something like 190 odd goals, 97 in a 6-year spell with his hometown club. And don't forget, they had a round robin, the players at Middlesbrough back then. Cloughie was scoring 4 or 5, and they were chucking 4, 5 and 6 in. And Cloughie accused them of taking backhanders. And they did a round robin to get out. Good teammates them. But Cloughie I admire. He's opinionated, he's got charm, charisma, he's warm, he can be funny, he can be ruthless, certainly opinionated. He had all the ingredients that I love in a person, and he had them in yeah, he was loaded with it. And obviously his statue, I've said it a year or two ago, his statue is still in Albert Park, and it should be dug up and carried to the riverside. I don't know if it's still in that surrounded wire fence. It looks as if he's in a prison. He deserves better than that. So where are we? Enzo, hi Bernie. Why do the championship all kick off at 12:30 on Saturday? Enzo, I don't know the reason, but personally I think it's ridiculous. I've not looked into the reason. I just thought they're all kicking off at 12:30. What's that about? Usually at 12:30 if one of them's on the telly, but I think right across the board, it's a farce. 12:30 kick-off. As I say, I'm a traditionalist as well. Used to be 3 o'clock kick-off. My father used to go to work. My late father, God rest him, he used to go to work. He used to come back, get the brill cream on, get the suit on. They wore collar and ties back then, the big Crombie coat. And he would take me to the game after he did half a shift at work on a Saturday. Always 3 o'clock kick-offs. As I say, bonkers. Mohammed says, I have to go up. If not, big players will be sold and Carrick gone. Well, hey, look, it's a big season for everybody. Everybody's has to be at it. As I say, I still would like to see another centre forward. Coburn, I still think young Coburn, I don't think Carrick fancies him. I may be talking out of turn, it's all in my gut. But I think if he gets half a chance, Coburn will go back and loan. We've got Azaz can play in up front or in the middle. I've got Latte Laugh, who was unbelievably great in the last 3 months of the season. He got a boatload of goals. We've got a lad for Huddersfield, but I still think another one. Would like another one. Phil Otten says, welcome back, Bernie. I had a great weekend meeting the little fella. Well done, Phil. Yeah, let us know if you went to see Janino. How was it? Did you love it? Was it great? Was it everything you thought it would be? I mean, look, regarding Janino, was I a Janino fan? Without a doubt. I watched these every game with the late great Ali Brownlee. I was doing the commentary at the time, so I travelled the country, every division. Don't forget, Janino was here 3 stints. Great guy, great human being, great player. Was he loyal? No. I think if his name was John Smith for somewhere in England, he certainly wouldn't have had the samba band. I mean, I came from Scotland, I didn't see the old bagpipes out of that. No, but Janino, I think a lot of that was intriguing at the time. A Brazilian, wow, we've never had a Brazilian. Janino, and he played in the World Cup, a World Cup winner. Getting him here was unbelievable, just like Ravanelli, the Italian, who won the European Cup. So I think that was like an attraction right away. Does he deserve the adulation? Possibly. I wouldn't go overboard. Why? Because he wasn't loyal. He left twice. He was here 3 times. And I watched his every game. The first season he was average. This is me being blunt. Second season, out of this world. Amazing. Unbelievable. Hat the size of a lion. Despite his height, he would go up and challenge in the air. He could beat men for fun, score goals, create goals, put goals on a plate for Ravanelli. Brilliant. Then he went away. Was at Atletico. Then he wasn't wanted and he came back on loan. Didn't really have the same glamour. Played out of position. Then he goes away again. And astonishingly, we brought him back again. And then he get caught with his pants down, coming out of Aston Villa. So he loved the club that much, he was talking to Aston Villa. This is the harsh reality. I know the lover boys out there don't want to hear it, but that's the harsh reality. I look at the big picture. You know, if Janino, and I've met Janino several times, I've interviewed him, he's a great guy. But don't go overboard with the loyalty shenanigans, because it's bullshit. There was no loyalty. He was just another player, a fly-by-night, who came, did a bit, went away, came back on loan, went away, tried to go to Villa, never happened, came to Middlesbrough. And yeah, but 1 year, he was out of this planet. It was amazing. Amazing. But he only played, I think he scored about 30 odd goals, played 140 or 50 games. Look at Mannion. Mannion was here for 11 years. You know, the players back then, dear God, the loyalty. There's no loyalty. So I'm a guy that looks at guys that have come in, I call them fly-by-nights. For me, they're the real superheroes and legends. It's guys like Clough and Mannion and Hardwick. George Friend, 9 years at Middlesbrough. He's a modern one. Very few modern players stay around. They come and go every couple of years. That's the way it is now. So for me, I think, first and foremost, you need longevity. You need to be a bit faithful to the club that you're with. People say, yeah, but Rav and Janino and Emerson all had ambitions. Every player's got ambitions. Johnny had ambition. He left, they were calling him all this, that and the other. Peter Bakery left, a local lad, a borough lad. He was called Judas because he jumped ship when we all stayed behind. But he had a family. He had a newly born kid. He couldn't feed it because Middlesbrough weren't paying him. So there's a lot of people out there pick and choose who they bow to and who they put on a pedestal. I like longevity and I like people that's loyal. And a lot of the players from abroad, and even now, British lads, loyalty's going out the window. Hi Bernie, great to see you. Hiya Brian, how are you? I'm currently speaking on Facebook with Emerson's cousin, Fabio. He's telling me all sorts about his time here, Ian May. So Fabio, yeah, I remember Fabio came as well. I interviewed Emerson, Borough TV at the time. You can get it on YouTube, Total BS, if you backtrack. I was a fan of Emerson's, as in his style. Scored a wonder goal at Sunderland, just says it's another game. It's more than that. But Emerson was flamboyant, colourful, and I loved the samba dance. I liked the wee dance when he scored a goal. I loved his hair. But yeah, again, loyalty was practically nil. I interviewed Emo when he went to, where did he go? They were playing Leeds United. Deportivo La Coruña. I met him at a hotel in Leeds and I did a stint with the Borough TV. Charming guy. Mark Whitehead, hiya. Mark, how are you doing? Evening, Bernie. I'm feeling optimistic for a good season. I would expect nothing less than playoffs. Hope to see you at the ground. I hope so, Mark. I hope you're in good form. Look, I'm happy. My son, he lives in Edinburgh. He's a Borough fan, born and bred here. And he's happy with nobody going and a few coming in. And I am. I have to be honest. You know, I'm a realist, not a fantasist, but I honestly believe that keeping the players, but as I keep saying, my gut tells me there'll still be somebody moves before the deadline. I might be talking bull, but that's what I think. But I hope I'm wrong. Hi Bernie, how are you? Are you ready for the season to start? And I see you on Saturday up the Borough for Scott Wilson. Hiya Scott, hope you enjoy the season, have a great season. Scott Watson. And no doubt you're optimistic and up for it as well. Charlie Connor, where's Charlie boy? Charlie Connor, put it back to front. Put what back to front? Charlie, what are you on about? You're not talking about this t-shirt. Back to front. Look forward to the start of the season for Daniel Jones. Yeah, Daniels, you're right. Welcome back, Bernie. Ian Morley, hi Ian, how you doing? Mark says, welcome back, Bernie. Did you get to any of the pre-season games? If so, any thoughts? Seems like we're in a far better position than the chaos we started with last season. That's from Matt Scott. Mark, I didn't go to one pre-season game. I've been on holiday. I've been doing jobs. Why didn't I go to pre-season games? I didn't even go to the one, was it here in Veen? No interest. I played in pre-season. I've been to pre-season over the years. It doesn't mean a thing. It's about first touch, breathing, fitness, getting to know your new teammates, getting your touch right. Yeah, it's about touch, timing and fitness. No more than that. I tell stories when pre-season. I remember going to I went with Middlesbrough to Sweden, and there was a guy there within the team, not noted for his goal scoring, and he scored 6 in 4 or 5 games in a Swedish tour. That season when he returned, he scored 1 in about 50 games. So he scored 6 pre-season in about 4 or 5 games, and in 60 games he got 1. So means nothing. Celtic, my boyhood heroes, beat Chelsea 4-1. Would they do that in the Premier League? Very unlikely. I know Chelsea's not great, but Celtic's not great. But I just think pre-season is, just finding out, getting your breathing right, your touch right, getting to know your new surroundings, your new teammates. No more than that. I wouldn't read anything into it. I remember playing for Lenny Lawns, and I'm no knocking Lenny because I've done the podcast with him. You can backtrack Total BS and you listen to Lenny why he get rid of me and what he thought or whatever of myself. We played, I think it was Wrexham, and it was the last build-up game before the season started. We're in the equivalent of the championship, and we get beat 5. I think it was it Wrexham? We get beat 5. We had a nightmare, and that was my final preparation. Well, that season we got promotion when we beat Wolves down at Molineux into the Premier League. Means nothing. I remember going with Port Vale. We go to Port Vale. It's the Manx Trophy pre-season, and it's in if it's Manx, it's Isle Man, but the cats have no tails. And we go there, and we get battered 5 way. I can't remember who it was, but we beat 5. So he put a curfew on and went, right, you're not going out. And all the lads sneaked out, me included. Although I didn't drink, I liked a night out through the back door. All the lads were taking a few sherbets. I don't drink, but I was still out. I was still guilty. And then the next day, there was a bit of noise in the hotel about 4 or 5 in the morning. I'm thinking, dear God, the lads aren't going to get away with this. I'm not going to get away with it. And then the next day, John Rudge, who was there, one of the longest serving managers in England, he got us all in a sort of a horseshoe. The sun was shining, and he started talking about the game the day before, saying it wasn't good enough, and I was sitting at the front of the sort of a horseshoe on the left hand side, and he just turned to me and he went, "Were you out last night?" And I went, "Yeah, big enough to take it." So I don't know who's sitting behind me. "Were you out last night?" "No." Now I'm thinking, you're joking. I'm not going to be the one like, "Were you out last night?" "No." So then I turned round, and then they were going, yeah, I was out. So we all get done. We all get fined. I remember going with Lenny Lawns to Ireland, and I got kicked lumps out. It was Northern Ireland. I don't know if it's because I played the Republic, but they were big farmers. They booted me all over the pitch. I got taken off half time, thank God. So pre-season means nothing. This is a real deal Saturday. But again, don't read too much into the first couple of games, because this is a real thing now. And you have to change over for the 6 pre-season games. Phil Hutton says, without getting carried away, fancy us for top 6 and possibly top 2. Top 6, yeah. Top 2, I think the Leeds will definitely be up there. And I think one of the teams that come down will be up there, because they have the money. James Mills, hi Bernie, what about the Celtic, Manchester City and Chelsea? Hail, hail. And Middlesbrough, I think it will be a good season. So, Millsy, how are you, big Jim Mills? As I mentioned just before you text in, Millsy, beating Man City, I think Celtic beat Man City, the good result in Man City and Chelsea, the other side of the world, but means nothing. If it was a one-off game, very difficult for Celtic to beat big teams like that. And Middlesbrough, I think it would be a good season. I think it would be a good season. As it stands at the minute, I mean, if we're ready to go into, and when 30th kicks in and the window closes, the August window closes, January reopens, it closes if Van der Berg's still here, Latty Laugh, Hackney, Dieng, then happy days, everything's hunky-dory. But as I say, I always get a bit concerned that there's still time for players to leave. And I'm sure Michael Carrick feels the same. What do you think about the games on Sky? Not many 3 o'clock games, no thought for the fans. Jason Cooling. Jason, I had my say earlier, I think it's a joke. I think it's farcical. I said this many years ago when I was doing the live commentary with the late great Ali Brownlee, and I did condemn it, saying that Sky and the clubs get the money because they all agree, and the fans get shit on. That's being blunt. That's it. There's no consideration whatsoever for the fans. It's obvious. If you don't know that now, then you're living in cuckoo land. Saying that, the Borough fans behind the goal forever singing F Sky Sports, but you need to remember Sky Sports is in bed with the club and they do a deal that suits both of them financially and obviously for entertainment values. So they don't give any consideration for the fan, the working class lad, the guys that's got money that loves to go and see their beloved clubs who push the boat out. So the fans, if you don't know by now that you're getting taken for a ride, then you'll never know. Bloody stupid kick-off time for Andrew Johnson, so he's up in arms. No good that the lads like a few pints. Charlie Connor. No good at that. Charlie, I think the game's changed now with the overseas influx, foreign influx over the years. I think a lot of people that's came from abroad have actually educated the British bulldog mentality, go out for a pint. And back in my day, some of the lads used to smoke. I used to get into do a Jimmy Riddle and I'd look and the door would be shut and the smoke would be billowing over the toilet. But I think, as I say, more educated now, players. I don't think they drink half as much as they did then. Maybe not even touch it now. Brill Cream, my granddad used to wear that. Great top, by the way. Bernie up the F in Borough, Christopher Chatterton. Yeah, it was like Brill Cream and what was the other? Hair tonic. Used to have an aroma to it. Used to dye me hair. It looked like greasy, but it was a nice smell. I always remember that as a kid. I went to your father. Enzo Riggio says Cole Palmer is coming to Borough on loan. Loads of rumours going about. Ian Mogi, I did, what's that say? I did Great Night Bernie along with Hignett. Also, Ian's talking about got the junior night, was good. Got trainers autographed by both, was good, Bernie. That's good, Ian, you enjoyed it. I'm sure, look, hey, I wasn't there, but a few people told me there was a lot going on and it was an entertaining night. Stephen McGree says, welcome back, Bernie. Really looking forward to the season starting on Saturday. Hopefully shake the 10-year opening game. No win hoodoo and kick on from last season. Good run up the Borough. So Stephen McGree, I didn't really look into that. So opening game we're known to stutter. Prediction on where we finish this coming season. Paul Bean. If we keep everybody we've got now, I think we'll be top 6. I think we've built a bit of momentum for last season. As I say, Ailing Stain, who's full of energy and experience, and McGree, who I've said and went on record saying he's the best player at the club, in my opinion. And Van der Berg at the heart of defence, although he's 19, 20, by God, he looks as if he's played for Middlesbrough for the last 10 years. He's cool, calm, collective. He can read the game. He can pass the ball. He can defend. He's fairly quick. So yeah. Hi, do you think McCormack will start at left back Saturday? Dean Wilson. Obviously, no. Me personally, I don't know who's going to start where, but Ailing and Jones, I think, are on that flank. Van der Berg, Lenihan. Is Lenihan up and running now and fit? We've got a few choices. Banguera, would he be playing left? As I say, I would play Hamilton on the left. I'd play Jones right. Morris were brought in, so I would start him. Hackney. And then I'd love to see, I don't personally think I'll happen, but this is myself. I'd love to see McGree behind Latty Laugh. Because I think McGree would get as many goals as Latty Laugh if he played there. And make plenty for Latty Laugh. Chris Chapman says, Bernie, it's all about money for players nowadays. Well, Chris, modern players, I've heard this for coaches. I've got mates who's coaches in the modern game now. You can't say boo, the clash is a bully or a this, that or the other. You get pigeonholed for a word, which is ludicrous. In my day, I mean, if you look at the YouTube, you've got Warnock shouting and bawling and all these guys in dressing room behind the scene flying the walls. If you did that now, you'd be out in your arse. You'd be sacked. As I say, I'm not a fan of it. But regarding the money, I think some players, and I've heard this with young Middlesbrough players, I'll not say who or what, but over the years, they're more interested in what kind of bag they've got. Is it a Louis Vuitton? Is it a Chanel? Is it a whatever? Gucci. So wee bags where you put your hair products in and that. Flash cars, flash boots. In my day, I always wore black boots. I always went for Nike. And all my teammates were similar, went for Adidas, Nike or whatever. But it was all branded and all black boots. But these days, I come out with pink boots, white boots, multicoloured boots, rainbow boots. I come out with everything. It's not about glamour. It's about, you get the glamour when you finish, you get the rewards because you've got boatloads of money. You can float about the Mediterranean with your cigar and your glass of champagne and whatever you want and go on holidays and buy houses abroad. That's cool, especially if you've did the business as a player. Fine, you've got the money, great. But while you're trying to make a name, these young kids, get your feet in the ground. Stay grounded. Get the flash stuff when you're finished, not now. Not now. There'll be guys running about now who's hardly kicked their ass and first teams up and down the country will be driving about in big flash cars and get big mansion houses and all the designer gear. Doesn't make them a good player. As I say, the top players do the business and have got all the luxuries and good on them. They deserve it. But there's too many guys that's faking it, not doing it, costing boatloads of money and swanning about as if they're Ronaldo, which they'll never be. As I say, I don't mind if you're doing the business for your respective club, you're getting the rewards, brilliant. But there's too many not doing it and getting plenty and giving it the big ones. Dave Baker, hi David. On the subject of longevity, it also applies to managers. Unless a manager is horrendous, and we have had a few, they should be encouraged to stay. We seem to be that situation right now. Fingers crossed for the new season. I'll be there in September. Look forward to it. David Baker, if I'm right, because I can't see the picture. David is originally from Middlesbrough, lives in America, and he comes over a couple of times a year. Andrew says, this season is the one, Bernie. The only way is up. There's a song in there, Andrew. I'm sure you're singing it as a speak. Look, I've heard this every season. I've heard it for 13, 14 seasons. We're going up. This is a year. Keep the faith. The players have to do it. The fans can do all that, but they can't change the course here. Well, they can get behind the team and give them a massive boost, but the players have to do the business. And as I say, I've heard this for 12, 13 years. We've had one season of top flight in, I think, 14 years. And I've heard that every year. No, this is definitely the season. Oh, without a doubt. And anybody out there, I know we're jumping the gun, anybody out there fighting the Leeds United game in the Cup? Is it important? Are we going to play that old chestnut and play that card? Oh, we're at the Cup and concentrate in the league now. What, 2 games in, we're going to write off the League Cup? Andy Appleyard says, I think the squad is better than the Aitor Karanka squad from 2015. I think we could do with George Friend, left back, and we're sorted, especially after Banguera and injury. Yeah, Banguera, I mentioned him, but yeah, injury. Aitor Karanka, dear God, this team will definitely play better than Aitor Karanka's team because we'll play football. I was an Aitor Karanka fan to a degree, but when it came to entertainment value, boring. Warnock, boring. There's a few boring managers. Pulis, boring. I'd have rather retired than playing their sides. No good. As I say, Michael Carrick, first season he came in, breath of fresh air, scrapped the negativity, forward thinking, creativity, goals galore. Brilliant. Last season, huffed and puffed, hot and cold, not as great as I expected. This season, I think the pressure's on now. The pressure's on for Carrick and the players. This is a season where I personally think that we've got a great chance, but I wouldn't go overboard because we know what happens. Injuries, loss of form, suspensions, winter months, some people don't fancy it, some might not settle in. Liz says, everyone seems positive, yet we conceded lowly Doncaster We only beat poor low league teams. Certainly not putting my cash on Borough to beat Swansea. As I say, Leslie, it doesn't matter if we won every. I think we didn't get beaten in 6 pre-season games. I think we won 4 and drew 2. Is that right? But it means nothing. I've seen promising signs, but I'm not getting carried away for Colin Ward, so Colin's feet is firmly on the ground. Maggie Patsy, I thought I was going to say Maggie May. Hi Bernie, welcome back. Thank you, Maggie. Thanks for watching. I loved hearing the story from Roy Keane about your island top. All the best in Borough for the coming season. Yeah, if you don't know, I was getting inundated. People were sending me this clip. Roy Keane does a podcast with Neville and Ian Wright, and they were talking about international duty, and Roy told the story where, if you've watched it then I'm sorry to bore you, Roy Keane told the story. He says to the lads and the girl that was there, oh yeah, I remember a time Bernie Slaven, he was in the squad but he wasn't in the team, and you know, lads back then used to get their top signed with all the players, and I did, and then last minute Jacks went, you're on the bench, and I'd no strip. I'd only the one that I get signed because initially I wasn't playing. I was in the squad on the bench, so I ended up on the bench with the signed shirt with all the lads because I used to give them to charities or keep them or whatever. And then it ends up that the lads were all hoping and praying I would get on. Thankfully I didn't. But I've got another story down the line about the boots. I'm glad Roy didn't tell that one. I'm a fan of Roy Keane's. I love the way he talks. He says more than 30 seconds and some pundits saying 10 minutes. They blow the pants off me. I know Roy personally. I think he's a great guy, charitable guy. He can be ruthless at times. But yeah, he's a character. The game's lost most of the characters. New Man City, an academy player. Any news? Connor, as far as I know, that it was more or less a done deal. So the lads, 20, we've signed him by all accounts. He was having his medical. They've got a clause where they can buy him back. I find him exciting. The boy for America, don't know much about him. You know, we've had a few American lads over. Not really. I mean, Hop, he's American, isn't he? Where's he? Hop, he's the mayor. Chris Charlton said, first 10 games, then we will find out their whereabouts we are. Chris, I always say 12 to 14 games. You get a rough idea where we're going. And I'll stick by that. You're saying 10. Well, I say 12 to 14 games. You'll find out when the dust settles, the real deal, the real games are in motion. We'll find out as to where we are, who's turning it on. Have we got a settled side? I would say Carrick in his first season, he was majorly successful. It was the best football I've seen since I arrived in Teesside, and that was nearly 40 years ago, come next October. I think partly because we had good players, attack-minded players, the formation suited everybody, we scored goals galore. It was exciting, refreshing, and Carrick played the same team in the main. Last season it was in and out and dropped and rested and moving on and disruptive. If you can get a settled team, obviously if it's winning, if it's not winning, he has to keep adjusting to get that solution, the winning formula. What's that all about 5 things on Janino? Wish list, number 1, Apamo. Ingleby, number 2, visiting Ingleby. Oh wait, Leslie, man. Matty Ingo says, can't you get your boots back on, Bernie, and be extra striker we need? I think I've still got goals providing people were putting them into the 6-yard box. I'd still be standing there. You know, I didn't do anything. I just stood in the 6-yard box, as you know. Tom Corrigan, my old mate. Hiya, Tom. Optimistic about this season for once. I struggle to name our best 11 with everyone fit. Yeah, it's a fair point, Tom. I mean, I've written a few names down here. So there's Dieng, Benguera, Van der Berg, Lenihan, there's Ayling, Jones, Morris, Hackney, this Mika Hamilton, Latty Laugh, McGree, Dick Steele, Johnny Howson signed contract, Hop, I think he's away at the minute, Fry, Tommy Smith, Engel, Belazer, Azaz, Foz, Matt Clark, Coburn, and there's a few of them you mentioned. So, yeah, we've got a fair old mixture now, and the majority of lads are 20 to 24. Obviously, Ayling isn't, but you need a bit of experience. Howson, vastly experienced. Good guys in the dressing room, and put a few backsides if need be. Phil Back says, what's the rumours in Wolves bidding 25 million for Latte Laugh? Well, Phil, I think exactly what you mentioned, the rumours. I've not heard them personally, but rumours are rumours, yeah. Rumours. I don't believe rumours it's black and white. I don't believe anybody or anything until it's a done deal. You know, sees it. Any mug can create a rumour, especially these days in social network, whatever. The propaganda on social network and national TV. Dear God, terrible. As I say, I stopped years ago watching the news and reading newspapers. I flick through my phone sometime, something comes up, it catches my eye. I brisk over it, I don't go in depth. But I'm looking forward to seeing the keeper Saul Bryn gets a couple of minutes this season as backup keeper, Matty Ingo. I hope so, Matty. You know, he's back, Saul Bryn. He's a Borough lad. He's been in loan the last 2 years, never got a sniff. I don't know why. He's a good height for a goalkeeper. He's had good reports wherever he's went. I think he's won player of the season the last couple of years at his respective clubs he's been on loan. So why not? Why not give the kid a chance? Look, Deng's done well. I don't think he's the best keeper we've ever had. I still think Pears and Swatzer were better than him. And Randolph, I think, was better than him. But he's still a good keeper. Obviously, the modern keeper has to play with his feet. But I don't think he's very good at it. Too slow and laboured and predictable. Andy Leahy says, I saw you strike some cockers, Bernie, Coventry away, more than 6 yards out, mate. Yeah, Andy, it's a myth. You know, I was called like fox in the box, 6 yards out, 2 yards out. That's where strikers make the living, in and around the box. But yeah, I did. I scored from outside the box, scored several from outside the box. I'm not saying I meant them. A lot of them hit the corner shot at the opposite side for the Hull gate. But yeah, scored a few in my head. People say I never scored in my head. Yeah, I did. Even scored ones with my right foot, but predominantly left and predominantly in and around the box. And that's where the majority of goals are scored. If you're a striker, it's not about how you score them. It's how many you score. Excuse me. And I want guys like Latte Laugh to say, right, I'm going to this year, I'm going to score another 20 goals, 20 odd goals. You have to have that in your head. Bruce Rear, who I absolutely adored, still adore, I had a few run-ins with him, verbally I mean, but Bruce was a great motivator, and he used to say, me and Archie Stevens, I want 20, 25 to 30 goals this season. Next season I want 20, 25 goals. Pallister Mowbray, I want 5 goals from set pieces. Midfielders, Hamming Company, 8 to 10. It's nice to give targets. I don't know if modern managers do that. I really don't. So if you want to get involved, as I say, I've written down a few things. Are you happy with the Borough summer activity? Were you as chuffed as I was that McGree had signed? Backtracking Southgate. Do you think he'll get back in management in the Premier League or Championship? Was he hard done by England? Janina return, did you attend? How did the night go? Did you enjoy it? What are you expecting this Saturday against Swansea? I've got these messages here. I always say every week. I'll be back again in, I'm not finishing, but I'll be back again in Saturday, 12:30. I'll probably do about 5 o'clock. It's 12:30 kick-off time. I get away and all that. Probably about 5. I'll do an hour. After every Borough game throughout the season, then I'll be doing podcasts on them every Monday and talk BS. Let's see, what's it say? Matty says, I've been watching the American and following him stat-wise. I'm into that and he does look tasty. The only problem that you've already addressed is, can he get fitness and the prowess of the English game? Well, that's one of the downsides. You come from America, you know, America have never really been known for the best players in the world, have they? Americans. Yeah, there's always a question mark. So he's an unknown quantity to us, but obviously somebody at our club has monitored his movement and looked at him and fancied him. So we'll soon find out, won't we? So I'm going to read a few of these, but you can always ignore them. John says, what about the club on YouTube? Or what What about YouTube, Roy Keane discussing yourself? Yeah, I've just mentioned that now, so I don't want to go through that again, bore the living things that the people that's watching. Well, what's that? Let's have a better start than last time. That's for Noel. Paul says, did you go to the Janino night? And if so, what did you think? No, I didn't, because I had other things on, but I heard it was a good night. And great to see him back in Teesside. That's the first time he's returned, I believe. The club tried to get him back a few months ago at the town hall and he ended up on the screen. Don't like that, but anyway, he must have had his reasons. Then says, Dirty Den, so who has actually signed? Well, I mentioned it earlier, then Erlinghausen, McGree. 10 minutes to go, dear mate, it's flown by. Dear mate, it's the first one. This is a warm-up for Saturday. There's obviously Morris, then Bugzong, is it? Mika Hamilton. And hopefully we can sign a striker. We mentioned Conway for Bristol. They're talking about, what, 5 million quid, but there's meant to be 1 or 2 clubs in from him. How's Big Mugger doing? Captain Fantastic for Leo. Yeah, Mugger is pepped up. There was something on social media, but I already knew. He'd been to Wimbledon. He's been to the golf in Scotland. He's walking. He's golfing himself. I believe he might be at the game Saturday. I've texted him a few times. He's having coffee with my mates regular. So the big man's back in track and getting stronger every day. So brilliant. Massive fan of Mugger. Admire him. Great captain, great human being, a man of integrity, honesty. Yeah, he's got things in abundance. I mean, he's probably too nice. All the qualities he's got. I don't know many people in football that's got his qualities, but yeah. So Mugger, he's getting fitter every day and brilliant. Did I see you on social media in Japan during the summer months? What was it like? I'm hoping to go there. That's for Willie. Willie, is it Big Willie or Wee Willie? Big Willie or Wee Willie? You don't put that. Yeah, I did. I went to Japan a couple of months ago. Amazing place. If you've, I don't have a bucket list, but I know people talk about bucket lists. You need to go there once in your life. We could learn a lot from the Japanese here in Britain. They've got patience. They're well-mannered. Punctuality. Not a train was late. In London, if you want to get on a train and off a train, everybody fights to get on while they're getting off. Over there, they just stand back, let everybody off, and then they casually walk on. You can't eat in the street. You can't drink. I don't mean alcoholic drink. You have to pull in and have a drink, a bottle of water, because it's really hot, and you have to take the bottles with you. There was one day I was walking about with 4 empty bottles, so I'd keep hydrated. No bins. You're urged to take them home. It's an amazing place. What did I do? Went to see the snow monkeys, being an animal lover and a vegan. Went to see snow monkeys, not in a zoo, up in the hills. Went to a tea ceremony to learn about the green tea and all that stuff. Mrs. wanted to see that. The geisha gills, the elusive gills that who are multi-talented. I seen the Red Hot Chili Peppers in Tokyo Dome the second night I was there. Got tickets at face value. Ticketmaster over here would rip me off, charging about 400 quid. I got them at face value over there. Loads of things, did loads of things. Hiroshima. Yeah, amazing place. So if you're fortunate enough to work and have a job and get a few quid and you go holidays, go to Japan, you won't be disappointed. I'm going to come back here in a minute. So Big Mugger, I mentioned. Terry said, would you have Gels back? Do you know what? I know probably won't happen. Well, it's not going to happen. I think the Hull City chairman, he went to, was it Luton? He went to Never the Good Time. I think they were too negative for his style of play. It was all about defending. Gels at the Hill, I think the owners come out and says he's going nowhere. But I would have Gels back, but I'm not a fan of people coming back. We've had Janino back 3 times, my mate Pally back twice, Stewie Downing, who I love, back twice, Colin Cooper, who I love, back twice. I'm not a fan of people returning. I think it's lazy recruitment, and I'm not a fan of it. So, but in this Giles, I would have bitten the bullet, to bring him back. Man City versus Man U, it goes to extra time. We'll be finished by 5:30, maybe start after that. Fans will be watching that. Andy, as for Leslie, Andy says, should visit Gibraltar, Bernie, interesting place. Do you know what, Andy? I went to, I've seen you that. I went to Gibraltar with Middlesbrough. I went with the late great Ali Brownlee. We did a live game. We beamed it live through NTL, Borough TV at the time. Don't forget, we were the first football club in the country, despite what have you believe. Myself and Ali were the first guys with Borough TV and NTL, who was an American firm, to launch their own channel. Borough TV was the very first. Now everybody's got them, but we at Middlesbrough haven't got one. It's incredible, isn't it? So we were the first to have it, now we've not got one. So yeah, I did go to Gibraltar. I interviewed my former manager Lenny Lawrence on the beach over there for Borough TV. Borough played, I'm sure it was Real Madrid. It was a draw, pre-season game, and Luis Figo, remember Figo? He played. Check that out. So I have been there, Andy, and it is an interesting place, especially the small runway. You know, you land just over the sea, and the people have to walk over the runway, don't they, to get over to the other side. Yeah, it is an interesting place. I'll read a few of these out as well. There's only 7 minutes. Rob says, so the big guns remain, Bernie. Well, I take it you're referring to the guys I mentioned earlier, Rob, like Vandenberg, Hackney, Latty Laugh. As I say, I still expect at least one to go. I hope I'm wrong, but my gut says I was right with Rodgers. I thought Rodgers would go, but just before the deadline, which he did, and the window closed and we couldn't get anybody in. I think somebody will go. I remember it was near the deadline, and Gordon Strachan, who was then the manager, you know, that wee Scottish guy with the ginger hair who had a nightmare. He says that Adam Johnson was going nowhere, and he went public in saying that, and I think he went the next day. Man City. Neil says, is our strike force good enough? Well, Latty Laugh, at the start, just like Akpom, I thought, dear me, he doesn't look the best, he's rash, his touch is not very good, but he came alive. He kept our season alive last year, and he was brilliant the last 3 months. Amazing. Couldn't compliment him anymore. He was really on fire. So Latty Laugh, obviously. Coburn, as I say, hitty missy. I don't think he's a Carrick's type player. That's all in my opinion. Bug Zog, who came for Huddersfield, 7 goals. Don't know a great deal about him. So we'll wait and see about that. And then Azaz could play up there. He's Republic Island International. But I still think we're short of one, at least one. We need another one. And Greg says, great pre-season for us. How important is it? Wolfman, I've been called that for a few years. Look, I believe we never get beat in the pre-season games. Touch time and fitness, breathing, get to know your new teammates. No more than that. I've mentioned that throughout. John says, when does the transfer window close? 30th of August, John. That closes. Matty says, let's hope we bang in loads of goals this season. Well, Latty Laugh was 18 goals last season. Coburn get 5. Try to think who else. Well, the lad we brought for Huddersfield, I mentioned, gets 7. We need more goals. Yeah. But we need to keep more clean sheets, because I think we give too much away. Jojo says, you're back in the Legends. Are you back in the Legends Lounge this season? I am, Jojo. I'm back there. Looking forward to it. Saturday, but I've loaded my suit yet. I'm promised a new suit. The other one was all ink and shiny with iron it. And my missus iron it. I might have to come Starkers on Saturday into the walk through the main reception. Starkers. But yeah, I'm in the Legends Lounge, looking forward to it. Weber says, pre-season, you know more than no more than team bonding. Yeah, I totally agree with that, Weber, without a doubt. I've mentioned a couple of stories, I'll not go over them again. Colin says, Latty Laugh brought the goals last season. Can he do it again and get 20 plus? Why can't he? He knows the league now. But the flip side is the opposition know him now. Before he's a bit of an unknown quantity. Now they know how good he is and how sharp he is and fast he is. So they'll obviously be in them. Martin says, Carrick and Woodgate remain. Who replaced the coach that left? Well, Danks, second name was Danks. He left. He went to Bayern Munich, didn't he, with company. So he left Borough, bit of a disappointment. Michael Carrick's brother, I think his name's Graham, he's come in. So Michael Carrick's brother has took over. So it's Michael Carrick's brother, Carrick, and Jonathan Woodgate. That's a cat you hear me yelling, that's not coming for me. There's 2 minutes left, so I'll read this and then that's us. Kev says, how important is the Leeds Cup game to you, Slav? For me, it's very important, especially against local rivals. For 2 games in, it's important. Knocked out, the competition this year, I think, would be majorly disappointing. Not disaster, but majorly disappointing. And Frank says, how many years you play at Middlesbrough games goals per season? How many years was it at Borough? I was at Middlesbrough just under 8 years. I came October and I left a few months into the Premier League. So games, well, I know off the top of my head, 382 games, 147 goals. I think if you looked at it, probably 20 games a season. Matt says, what about the goings on in Middlesbrough and the country? Not getting involved in that. I'm not a politician, never be one of them. I'm too honest and straight. Not getting into politics. Debate's healthy, and all as I say, no matter what the topic is, if you cannot debate, you do not progress. No matter what you're talking about in life. Louis says, of the Borough, who's your greatest player of all time, Louis asks? Is it Ronaldo, Messi? None of them. Maradona, best player ever. I'm going to read these 2 and then that's it. I'm going to thank my sponsors as always. Great show, thanks Frank. Matty says, I'd love a punt on an academy player who scored bagfuls. Sonny Finks are talking about, aren't they? From one of the teams that Arsenal graduated, who has just signed for Man United. I'm still surprised we've never had a player for Man United. Scored a few against Liverpool reserves. The game was ridiculous. So that's for Matty. I'd love a punt on an academy player who scored bagfuls for the reserves from one of the teams that Arsenal graduate, who's just signed for Manchester United. And Les says, good show, Ben. I'll see you on Saturday. Yeah, I'm back Saturday. As I say, it'll be 5 o'clock because of the early kick-off. If it's 3 o'clock, I come on at 6, home and away. So thanks again for you for joining in. Without you, there's no gig. Without the sponsors, there's no gig. And thanks to GRS Installation, Advanced Utility Solutions, Cornerstone, Galaxy Blinds, Smith and Friends Estate Agents, Cleveland System Engineering, Alta Build, Heroes and Legends, Dovecot, TGM Cars. Thank you very much. Good luck to Michael Carrick, the players, and the fans, of course, for Saturday. Really looking forward to it. And up the Borough. Cheers. Thank you. Cheers. Thank you. Can I get it off? I'll get it off now, I'm sure.